It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I want to thank everybody all over the world that actually subscribes to my show and show me love. And without you guys, there wouldn't be no legends. In the House of the Legends, he has a company called Author Central Station where they actually take your book and they actually promote it, they market it, and things of that nature. So in the House of the Legends, I give you Edward Mulraine. Welcome to the Legends, man.
Thank you, Tyrone.
Okay.
I appreciate being
All
here.
right. So let's talk about Author Central Station, the consistency of it. In fact, when did it start?
Well, it started about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I mean, all the work that went into it started
Right.
about a year and a half ago, but we actually just put it up in September.
Right.
So it's only been up for a couple of months, and it's authorcentralstation.com. And basically what it does, as a self-published author of 4 books, I know how difficult it is to sell beyond your
Right.
family and friends.
Okay.
Most authors sell about 50 to 60 books and then have a hard time and difficult time after that.
Okay.
When I was going on book fairs and going to big book conventions to try to promote the book, it becomes very, very expensive.
Right.
I mean, you have to get on a plane, pay for plane tickets, you have to book a hotel, you have to rent an Uber car, you have to ship your promotional items to the spot, and then you have to register for the conference, which
Right.
can cost up to like $1,500 just for a table to sell your books, and some of the more famous ones. So I said, you know what, I'm doing all of this, and sometimes you go out there and you sell about 5 or 6 books,
Right.
and you don't even make your money back.
Right, right.
And so what I said when I was at my last conference, I think I was in Baltimore trying to promote the book. I did pretty good.
Right.
But I said to myself, where is a place where there's traffic already? Where people are already in, not only where there's traffic, but where they're already shopping.
Okay.
And I said that's the mall. And most communities have a local mall or mall that you could get to within 10 miles.
Right.
And so what we did was create authorcentralstation.com. And it's a platform where those who particularly self-publish authors, I want to stress that because they get the short end of the stick
Right.
anytime. When you're with a traditional publisher, they promote your book, they'll put you on TV, they'll get you book signings in different places, podcasts, etc.
Right.
But when you're a self-published author, you're doing all of that yourself.
Okay.
So with authorcentralstation.com, we set up the malls, we connected with the malls, we got the license, and we have the insurance and everything.
Okay.
And then on our platform, you can actually go to it, upload your book, and create your profile, upload your book, and select one of our malls.
Okay.
Right now, we have 4 malls that we're working with in the Hudson Valley area. That's the Westchester County Mall, the Palisades Mall, Poughkeepsie Mall, and Jefferson Valley Mall.
Okay.
And all of them are open. And we put you in key locations throughout the mall. We do our research where the most traffic is in those malls.
Okay.
And we set you up with a table or a kiosk in order that you can sell your book, because I'm all for the self-published author.
Right. Any particular type of genre of books that you accept?
All genres.
Okay.
Let me just specify this, and this is very important because
Okay.
we deal with all genres.
Okay.
But the malls also have their qualifications when you could go into them.
Right.
Politics and religion, of course, we screen the books before
Right.
we actually put people in there because of the conflict that might occur. But it doesn't mean that you can't upload it on the site.
Right.
So you can, any genre of book, you can, from poetry to romance, to politics, to self-help books, all of that can be uploaded onto the site. And
Okay.
we also have a reader section. And the unique thing about Author Central Station is that readers who sign up on the site, so all the readers out there come on and sign up, readers who sign up on the site actually get to interact and communicate and talk to the authors.
So you did.
When-
So you deal directly with the authors.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're a reader and you sign up on our site, you actually get to talk to the authors through our communication line that we have on there. Notifications come up, and they can connect with each other because we not only want to sell in the malls, but we also want to sell online and give self-published authors that opportunity.
So what's the elements of your marketing strategy as far as what you do? How do you channel it out as far as getting that author what he needs?
Well, what we try to do is put them out there as much as possible on our site. So we get them to promote this.
And specifically, what channels do you put them, put
Well,
them
Author
into?
Central Station to begin with.
Right.
But they also have the opportunity to upload their information to Facebook, all the social
Okay.
media links.
All
So,
right.
and the good thing also about our site is that if you are selling your book on Amazon or you have a website like I do, I have edwardmulraine.com.
Okay.
All my 4-mark books can be sold there. You can actually upload that or put that link on authorcentralstation.com. And if you're selling your books on Amazon, it links right to
Okay.
Amazon. It links right to, some people are self-published and they want to keep everything in-house. And so they send you the book.
Right.
So you can put your actual website up on our site and direct the readers to your site in order to purchase your book.
Okay.
And then they can connect with all the social media forums and platforms and handles that we have
Okay.
on the site.
To apply to your services, do you have different packages and things of that nature where they can actually apply to, as far as their budget's concerned?
This is the great thing about Author Central Station.
Okay.
The only thing you pay for is the mall. Everything else, connecting with readers, authors, promoting their book on the site, is absolutely free.
Okay.
It may change in the future, so I ask that you sign up right now. But in terms of the different packages, we go by seasons and we go by
Okay.
days.
Right,
When you
okay.
go to the mall, the low traffic is usually Monday through Wednesday.
Right.
The high traffic is more Thursday through Sunday. And so prices may vary
Right.
based upon the days and the season. Like now we're in high season. People are looking for shopping, going to Christmas
Right.
and Thanksgiving and stuff. So they're really looking to shop right now. So the traffic in the mall is
Right.
really high. So we will have higher prices based upon that. Then they may go down in January. But it will be nothing like you go and you have to pay for going to book conferences and book fairs out of town.
Right.
Because now we're talking about tables. And like I said, it can cost upwards from $1,500 just to purchase a table. We range from $50 to $700.
Okay.
And depending on the season, it may go up to $1,000. But it takes out all the grit, the grind, and the expenses of going to other places
Okay.
that you're trying to sell your book.
Okay. My question to you is, do y'all stream as well?
Oh yeah, we're working on. The site is still being developed, so we're trying to do more in terms of streaming. But the majority of it is through our social media.
Okay.
And the other component we're trying to get up there because I know that people have in their hearts and their mind to write a book. We're getting up a component, most likely through AI, where people can actually write their book.
Okay.
And we take them through the necessary steps of what it means to do your biography. There's a lot of people out there that have a story. They just don't have the time to take it. But with this AI generation, we're trying to put the components in place of what it means to put a professional book in place.
Right.
Take care of your grammar and all your writing and everything so that you can actually create your book, upload your design, and then sell it on our site. That's a future prospect of authorcentralstation.com.
How does the author, do you give how do you, how can I put this? As far as the author's concerned, how do they know the volume of what's selling and things of that nature? Do you give them that type of feedback?
Well, that's definitely something that we're working on.
Okay.
But remember, a lot of this is in person. We're trying to get them from behind the computer
Right.
and away from just the social media sales and promotions to actually being before people.
Right.
So they become their own salespeople. So they go before the audience at the mall, and they not only get to sell their books, but you can increase your social media connections. You can increase your email connections. You could get to actually communicate and connect with readers directly.
Right.
And you can get to do book signings. You feel like a star.
Oh, so you
know?
set up the press
Yeah.
releases as well?
Yeah, we take care of all of that.
Okay.
Once you sign up with us and you go into authorcentralstation.com and you sign up with us and you upload your information, it's very important that you upload all your information. Once you do that, we take care of everything after that. All you have to do is book the table, and we tell you, when you look on the site, you can see where you're going to be.
Right.
We have the food court. You're going to be in the food court. You'll see the picture. We send you notice of where you're going to be, all the instruction that comes along with it, and all you have to do is show up. Stay in the mall from 9 to 9 p.m., catch that traffic that goes through there. You have a book. You sell 20 books for $20, and if you pay for our spot for $300, you already got $400. That's a $100 profit.
Wow.
You come back the next day, do the same thing. So
Okay.
we're trying to make money for these self-published authors because that's why you do it. You do it, of course, to tell your story, but you also do it to make some money. And so we're trying to give them an opportunity to make money from their creation so that they can continue to feel like they can sell beyond their family and friends.
Right. Oh, what has been your success rate as far as?
Well, like I said, we started in
Yeah.
September,
And
so
is it
right
peaking right now? Or
It's
is it,
peaking because we have a lot of people signing up.
Right.
And our goal right now is to sign people up. We've sort of paused on the mall. December probably will open back up,
Mm-hmm.
but we paused so that people can sign up and we can have an advance notice because we do have contracts with the malls.
Okay.
And they need to know in advance how many people will be there. And we need to know from a marketing as well as from an expense connection purpose of how many people we have signed up.
Okay.
So we're reaching out to a lot of authors right now. We're going to different places, and if you're an author out there, and I know there's so many are, please sign up with us right now. You know, authorcentralstates.com. If you're a reader, we also need you to sign up because we want the two to come together. It's a great collaboration.
How do you deal with your competition? You know, I know it gets very competitive in a sense.
Well, we haven't had anybody who's doing what we're doing so far, but
so you're breaking barriers right now. in a sense.
We're
You're
breaking
trying.
barriers, but I think Barnes and Nobles, and we're looking for partnerships with
Right.
them. I'm working with people who are trying to get to them right now so that we can form that partnership. But Barnes and Nobles normally, and I've done book signings at Barnes and Nobles, you connect with their people. It's a lot of bureaucracy to go through, and they take about 60%, approximately 60% when you do book signings at their store.
Right.
And then you still have to do all the promotion and stuff to get people out, and hopefully you capture people while they're there. So that's probably the closest we get to competition. But like I said, we can work with Barnes and Nobles. We can work with any bookstore out there in order to give the self-published author an opportunity and a platform to sell their book in purpose. This is
Okay.
the purpose of all of this. How can we get before the people? I know everything is social media.
Right.
Those are probably the biggest competition. Amazon has that locked up.
Right.
2.6 million people self-published their books in 2023. That's a big market right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so we're talking about over $30 billion in the whole publishing industry of profit in just 2023. 2024 didn't even come out yet.
Right.
The majority of books are still sold in print, 75% of them. So we're talking about if I give 10% of that market, I'm doing good in terms of promoting the self-published authors. So we're just trying to help them get out there. We're trying to help them increase their social media handles. We're trying to get out there and help them increase their connections with people face to face, and we're trying to get them sales for their books.
Okay. And so far, how's been your reach as far as going from different platforms and things of that nature? I mean, how's it going with that?
It's going great. I mean, we're reaching out to different people. This is a great platform. I'm born and raised in the Bronx, so
Right.
this is a great platform to push out there. We have a lot of podcasts set up.
Right.
And so a lot of it has to do with promotion.
Right.
You know, it's like, what good is a good book if you don't push it out there.
Right, right.
Same thing with what we're doing right now. It's just getting people to understand and know that authorcentralstation.com is there, available, and ready to receive those who want to be a part of it.
Now, how long have you been an author?
15 years.
And how many books have you actually?
4 and going
4?
on 6, yeah. I have
Okay.
a 3-part series of
And
books
are you
that's
using
coming out.
this method right now to actually give your books a boost
Absolutely.
as well?
Yeah. I think I'm going to be in one of the malls in December and to promote my book, and I haven't set it up specifically yet.
Right.
But that'll be one of the locations I'll be at in order to promote it, just to show people that this is a good platform, catch people out there, and I would encourage people during this season to sign up, especially if you're a self-published author, because this is when people are shopping.
Right,
This is
right.
when people are looking to give gifts to their daughters, their sons, their uncles, their aunts, their children, and we try to specialize specifically and particularly in children books. Those are the ones that really capture people's
What's the
attention.
best sellers though?
I would say children books.
Okay.
How-tos for men. We like to, learn how to do stuff.
Right.
I have a self-help book, and we call it a self-help book, and it's called The 10-Step Man. That's been my bestseller. Sold over 10,000 copies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that and
Yeah.
what's the consistency of it.
Absolutely. Well, The 10-Step Man, I wrote that in 2009. It was updated in 2022 and 23.
Okay.
And I've been going all around the country selling it to fraternities, churches, because it's spiritually based.
Okay.
Along with just practical information of how men could become better better servants, better people for themselves, how they can become better fathers, how they can feel more confident in themselves. So we tackle a lot of issues in the book.
Okay.
And it has touched a lot of men, and I do a lot of workshops on it also. And if you've never seen a man cry, come to one of my workshops.
Wow. Okay.
You know, and we really allow ourselves to let free. And we don't try to promote leniency just because of decency. We let people know that this is what we're suffering with. We have our challenges. We have our temptations. But we don't want to focus on the problem. What's the solution?
Right.
Most people know if you're sick, you know you're sick. I need what the medicine is.
Right.
And so we try to give them the medicine and spiritual, because there's a passage in the Bible called "Put on the whole arm of God."
Okay.
And what we do is we base it on that: the helmet of salvation, what's going on in your mind, the breastplate of righteousness, you know, what's going on in your heart, the feet fitted with the gospel of peace. What direction are you moving in? You know, it's all kinds of. We break that whole area down. It's about 264 pages. It's about 20 chapters. And when I do workshops, we try to go through all of it. Sometimes it takes 3 weeks. Of us men coming together and talking about the various challenges that we have, but more than that, the solutions that we can find.
So it's basically about life experiences,
Yeah,
in a sense.
life. Yeah, you had to have gone through something.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone
Did
through
you go through something to
oh my
actually come
gosh,
up?
in order to write the book? I had to reflect a whole lot.
Well, your self-infliction was just a book.
Oh my God, my self-infliction became my self-promotion.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
And so you look at it and you say, you know, if I hadn't gone through what I had gone through, you know, and the biggest area many times is the absence of a father.
Right.
Many men, including myself, father has been that challenge, because we try to look at ourselves in light of who we are and who we could have been.
Right,
if we had had a father in our life.
Yeah.
And many men will admit, even if you had the father at home, that he wasn't necessarily a father that connected with you. You know, he did his work, to provide it for the family, but he didn't necessarily communicate. He didn't talk.
Right.
And that became a problem for a lot of men.
Yeah.
Others just never knew their father, like myself. You know, born in the Bronx, never knew my father. I didn't know who he was. And I had to navigate all kinds. You know, it's hard to learn how to tie a tie by yourself. It's hard to learn how to shave and all of that stuff if you don't have a man. Thank God my, stepfather later on in life. And I credit a lot of men, because sometimes, you don't know it, but God will put positive men in your life to make up for that absence that you had in life. And so I thank God that I was able to connect with men all through my career, whether it was a pastor, whether it was a business owner, whether they were black or whether they were Jewish, they connected and said, this is what you have to do. And I always found a good Muslim professor at my college. He said, I'm going to take you under my wing, and this is what you need to do in terms of understanding religion. And I studied religion, I studied politics, and, became, educated in those areas.
It sounds like those elements in your book are quite therapeutic in a sense.
Oh, absolutely. And it's spiritually therapeutic. It's even if you're not religious, it's therapeutic. It gives you some, and I encourage highly counseling. I say to men, don't be afraid to get some therapy. Don't be afraid to get counseling. If you need it, you need it. Ain't no man too big to not want to need to speak to anybody. And it's hard to get men to speak to people, and they keep all that inside, and either it's going to kill them from stress, or they're going to blow up and hurt somebody else.
Okay.
So
well, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house. It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
And we're back. Before we continue, I want to give our shout out to my cousin Yaya Diamond. How you doing? In the House of the Legends, we had Edward Mulraine. So let's talk a little bit more about the company itself,
Right.
and things of that nature, man. I think that's an upgrade as far as promotion to a lot of artists because, like you said, investments, endorsements, and things of that nature is pretty hard to come by.
Oh yeah.
So how did you filter that out in the sense of saying, they could be more economically inclined with what you're doing to the point where you can really get their point across?
Well, like I said, I'm going from experience in all of this.
Okay.
And I have my own particular obstacles when it comes to selling books
Right.
and when it comes to trying to promote. I have a pretty good audience, so it's probably easier for me to sell books to a large audience than it is for others. But when I go to these book conferences, I'm in conversation
Right,
with
right.
people, and they tell me how difficult it is. I see people stand there all day, whether it be a religious conference or whether it just be, somebody having a book convention, book fair. I was out in Atlanta, and, they promised that it would be over 10,000 people will be attending this conference. Got all the vendors lined up selling books.
And what happened?
Yeah, Doc, it must have been about 500 people there, if
Really?
that. If that. And most of them, they put the vendors upstairs, and then the people who were coming in were downstairs. So they never really got to come up upstairs and see the vendors. So at that point, one of the ladies said, you know what? We're going to take a petition to get our money back.
Oh, wow.
She said,
That's
we
something?
paid, and it was expensive. You paid $500, like I said.
Right.
That's just for the table and registration. You had to book a hotel to get there. This is in Atlanta, so I'm
a
coming
lot
from New
of
York.
money, man.
So that's about $400, $500, $600 right there.
Yeah.
I rented me a car. So I'm sure the lady did the same thing. She said, "No, we taking a petition, get our money back. We got 25 vendors there."
Right.
And I said, "No, we can't do this." So I'm saying, why do we travel? And so I listened to their stories, and I said, you probably wouldn't have to go through at least cut down on some of this grit and grind and expensive if it was right there next to home. Atlanta has a considerable amount of malls. I go out there all the time. New York has a considerable amount of malls in different sections of New York. New York is a
Right.
big place, from New York City to all the way upstate New York in terms of Buffalo. Considerable amount of malls. So I said, why not allow individuals to just try and connect with their local malls? And
Right.
the good thing about this, and even if you're out of town, and that's why we're trying to expand to other states as we go to New York. If you're out of town, let's say I'm out of town, I live in New York,
Right.
but I'm visiting Ohio. If we set up out there,
Okay.
you say I'm gonna go visit family, but I can make some money on the weekends
Right,
at the same
right,
time.
right.
Why? Because you have Author Central Station set up, and people could just connect with the site and go ahead and sell their books, set up and sell their books.
Any future expansions out of the country?
Oh yeah. You'd be surprised when you talk to one mall, and this is their business genius. Usually they're connected with 16, 17 other malls, with
Right.
no shortage. If I was on Long Island, we tried to make connections with them at the Roosevelt Mall. And they also have one in London.
Okay.
So
All right.
when you connect with
And the UK
one,
is the way to go.
Exactly.
Right,
So
right.
you connecting with one, but you're also like, oh, so they got companies outside, because malls try, it's a real estate business. It's renting to people wherever they go. So the same ones that are in New York, some of them are in London, some of them in Paris. So you make the connections based
Right,
upon
right.
your expansion. So expansion won't be hard. Even with the one mall that we have, Palisades Mall, for instance, they have 10 other malls. So they're like, when are you going to get to our other malls?
Right.
And that ranges from New York, which is Palisades, where it is, all the way up into Massachusetts and
Right.
Boston. So they're like, whenever you're ready, you can expand with no problem.
Okay.
So
It's been a pleasure, man, to have you on my show, man. And, that's really something to think about. But before we go, let's tell people how you can actually get in contact with you.
absolutely. Let me thank you, Tyrone, first of all.
Okay,
And I thank
all
you
right.
for this opportunity.
I appreciate it.
You could always go to authorcentralstation.com, authorcentralstation.com. If you have any problems with sign up, or if you have any problems, the information is there. You can contact us at info@authorcentralstation.com, and there's also a phone number there. So please get on the site right now. We have people waiting. If you have any problems, we're upgrading our site as we speak, so you may have a little derailment, but please don't be discouraged. It's an opportunity for you to get your books out there to readers. on the site as well as readers in person. Thank you, and God bless everybody.
Okay. Any shout outs to anyone that you really want to acknowledge you right now?
Yeah, well, shout out to all those working on the site. Shout out to all those who are signed up already. I ask that you go out there and get on the book, and just get on the site and just support the authors that are out there. I want to thank all the authors that have already signed up.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How about the hearing impaired? The hearing impaired.
That's a good question. That's a great question, actually, and we're working on that. I would
Okay.
say.
I think that's very important as well.
Yeah.
They have a part of the establishment as far as their disability,
Yes.
where they want to actually
Yes.
get into the groove as well.
Exactly, and some of them want to write.
Yeah.
So we want.
I think that'd be a good crossover.
Absolutely, and I thank you for that. I'm definitely incorporating.
Okay,
that.
I want my 10% too,
Absolutely,
man.
you got it. You just got to do a show with me. Yeah, we got you.
I found it very interesting to see how technology has changed the marketing strategies from the old school to the new school, because I think the old school was more appreciative of what they were doing because of their manual labor.
Right.
So let's talk about that briefly.
Okay, when you say the manual labor, you're talking about
Well,
writing.
there wasn't no technology back then.
Right.
When people wrote these great books.
Right.
And what they had to do to actually promote it was like really, really more aggressive, more manually,
Yeah.
instead of dealing with the technical stage.
Yeah. Well, it's two parts to that. I would say that I'm a pen and paper type guy still to this day.
Right.
And anytime I'm writing my books, and I can write forever, I start out with pen and paper. Then I transferred over to computer, and it becomes more. And most people back in the days, they did it that way. Maya Angelou would tell you she got on that typewriter and bah, and knocked it out. The good thing is that you don't have to rely so much on the traditional publishers because of technology.
Right.
Traditional publishers try to take everything from you. You got to sell the books, and you got to rely upon them for everything. But with technology today, with self-published authors, they could just go in and publish it. They could go and write it on whatever AI computer.
Right.
You don't want to depend too much on that, but you want to also be able to promote it and sell it. And Amazon, I got to say, is really good for that.
Great, okay.
In terms of promotion and in terms of just allowing you to upload your book and get it out there.
Okay.
But that's more technical. But in terms of the pen and paper and those who are writing their stories, I would say stick to that traditional, where you're actually telling your story and reflecting upon it as you write. Don't let AI or all of those do the whole work for
They
you.
definitely rob you blind, huh?
Yeah.
You walking on pins and needles.
Right. You want to be able, and then you gotta, if AI or something does it for you, you better make sure you read over that stuff.
Okay.
And read over it real good, because they make mistakes as well.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, man, for coming through, man, and sharing that, and you guys go out there and support Author Central Station. It's not a train station. It's not a stop. It's actually a marketing station for people actually authors that's really trying to get their stuff out there. And this has been another T-Lo video production, and you guys stay tuned for another episode. Thank you.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.